My name is Samuel Oluwadamilare Ejiyemi. I am from Osun State, but I based in Lagos, and I currently school in the University of Benin, in Benin City, Edo State. I ventured into art 6-7 years ago when I saw some really nice artworks on Instagram online, and I was like, wow, so people could really do this with their pencils and charcoals. Then I also started creating art by myself. I'm as a self-taught artist, so as at now I'm an hyperrealist charcoal pencil artist. My inspiration on becoming an artist is actually because of works I saw on Instagram. They were so beautiful. I saw works and I believe that I also have this talent and I could also make something to do with my own hands, because art is generally beautiful. Everywhere we go, there is art. They take their fashion, paintings, sculptures, even the houses that we build, they all have art in it. These are my inspiration, and also wanted to leave a legacy behind that by the time I'm also gone, people will be like, yes, I know this guy, I've seen this guy, I've seen his work. At the end of the day, that is my inspiration on becoming an artist. I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to leave a name behind for myself and for my family. I'm an hyperrealist charcoal pencil artist. I make hyperrealism works with charcoal. My style of painting is also realism. My style of drawing with charcoal is also realism. Ideas come into my head and I have some pictures in my head of, okay, this is how my next art should be like this. This is what is going on in the country Nigeria. Like a piece I did last year, I drew a cockerel, a chicken, but the male one. I drew it. It was because I felt what was going on around in our country is enough, and I believe that every one of us should be able to have a voice for ourselves, because no matter how bad it is, no matter how cold or anywhere it is, a cockerel wakes up in the morning to grow and makes its own mark. So I believe we as a country should also be able to put our voice out there so that everybody can hear our voice. That we should also, my art should be a symbolization for people to take up their voice so that they can also be able to talk well. That is one of the ways I think about the ideas of my work. My favorite medium is on charcoal on paper, and I use Strathmore paper for my work. For my paintings also, I prefer using oil paints. They allow my work to blend seamlessly, especially when I do portraitures. If you hang your work up there for 2-3 years, you find that for that 2-3 years you keep drawing on it, That's how art is. And art is never complete until the consumer, or maybe your client, has said, okay, they love it. Or when you put your work up for exhibition, people come in and they're like, okay, yes, they have something they can feel from your work. They can feel something from your work. That is when you can say, yes, this art is complete. So my biggest influences in art are actually from Kelvin Okafor and Arinze Arts, with also Leonardo da Vinci. I love his art so much. He was such a genius. To me, I feel like he's one of the greatest men to ever lived because of his scientific mind and with everything that he has done. Michelangelo with his paintings, one of the best ever artists. Their biggest influences to me. My art has been about the social norms, has been about being educative and letting people understand how also what is going on around the country. Like I said when I did last year about the cockerel, and there was also an artwork I did about animals in Africa. I did all of them inside the African continent. Some animals that we are not really known by outsiders, even by some of the Africans that don't know that, okay, this animal is actually from Africa. I drew most of them in the African continent, so that anybody that sees my art, it will be also informative and educative to them, to find out that, oh yeah, this animal is also from Africa. The biggest challenge when it comes to practicing art in Nigeria has always been the cost of materials. If I commit with any artist dead or alive, first of all, I would like to meet with Leonardo da Vinci. Also, I would like to meet Kelvin Okafor. When I first saw his work, actually, they looked so nice to me and they were like real photographs. There was a time when I actually first started and I showed somebody a work I would like to recreate. I think it was Kelvin Okafor's work. This person was like, it's a lie. This can never be an artwork. But nobody can use a pencil to create something like this. And I was like, but this is like, you can see where they started and this is where it ended. Like, there's a process from the first start, from the grid lines to everything. The guy was like, no. This is not what somebody can do. Then until I improved on my work and the person asked my work, the person was like, wow, I never really believed that somebody can actually be as good as this. If I could actually recreate a piece of art from any artist, it would be the Mona Lisa. I would love to like recreate the Mona Lisa. I would also love to like recreate Starry Night by Van Gogh. Those are like the two works I would want to like recreate. You can catch me on Instagram on with my IG account with my IG username being Samindre. You can just follow me to get more to see more of my artworks.
I'm Peter Elijah Timitokwe. So I'm a visual artist and a conceptual one. I love creating things right from childhood. Art has been part of me, that has been a lifestyle. What inspires me to be an artist is the fact that when I see art, I see it as something that is not just an ordinary creation. Art is divine and it's spiritual. My artistic style, I can describe it as cubism. Is a style of breaking the body part into different sections or color to build up something. Currently, I'm trying to like explore with different mediums, but I work basically with acrylic. Just like have a mental picture of something and like a reflection of me. It's just doing a retreat about yourself, trying to like find out some things about yourself, and that is where I get some ideas. Some of the artists that like influence me, Adekunle and Nolly Chidima, they've been really helpful to my growth process. So most of the time I just try to settle down, relax myself, think of something that I can do at a particular time that revolve around me, like what I am going through. I just try to like paint a picture of it and bring it up on my canvas. The type of art I do is basically abstract realism, whereby a figure is being broken into different sections or colors, then bringing them together to form a whole. The message I try to like convey through my art. My work basically talks about hope for the hopeless. All that is broken can be fixed. I am to recreate any art piece. I'm an old master. It should be the one of this percent Van Gogh, which is titled The Starry Nights. I love the flow of colors, sky. It's just an amazing piece. Check me on IG, so on Facebook and TikTok as Peter Elijah Art.
My name is Obiano Sas Peter. I was born and brought up in Lagos State, Ikorodu to be precise. But my hometown, my home state is actually Edo State, Esam. I started at a very tender age, and I remember I started by drawing mainly from these comics called Super Strikers those days. So I started with those, with that comics in particular. But you know, often the time while using it, the medium I remember the medium I used then was normally red pen or blue pen or even green pen or even green pen at most. The major thing that inspired me was I love seeing figures in black and white. So I often, like I said, Super Strikers, I often imagine how the penciler, which is the artist, started by creating forms both from the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the head, the tricep, the biceps, and even to the legs. So those things actually inspired me, human form, human figures, even down to perspective and all of that. And even colors also inspired me. I love seeing the pigments, the way, you know, how the colors transcend from light to dark. Those stuff actually inspired me to become an artist. How I describe my artistic style in particular, I would say it is rigid. Yeah, it is rigid, because most people say my style is rigid, the way I shade, even the way I sketch. So people even tell you I sketch as if thunder is striking, something like that. But what actually inspired me to, to draw the way I draw, to even paint the way I paint was, I am the kind of artist that I believe in standing out. I don't believe in drawing the way someone else is drawing, painting the way someone else is painting. I believe if there are at least 10,000 paintings in the world or 10,000 drawings in the world, when they look at your work, you should know, okay, this is Osas, okay, this is this, and this is that. So I remember I started mainly with cross-hatching, then from hatching to blending, then from blending to scribify. I tried all the shading technique, drawing technique, but I discovered that I was not still okay with them, and I had to make sure I invent my own. So I combined everything together. So this is why anytime I draw, anytime I paint, anytime I shade, you definitely see one of these techniques there. But I make sure I combine them together. Most of the time, I often get my ideas from reading scripture, which is the Bible. I might just read a passage of the Bible, then I just get a message. Probably I can see things like, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, then I'm inspired to paint such a thing. And what I do is I just make sure I'm able to, break it down into the way people will understand. But what also makes me, that brings up my ideas is I am a very, very emotional and a very, very compassionate person. So if you notice, even most of my works, you always see either someone who is struggling and smiling, or either ways. What makes me inspired when it comes to bringing up ideas is I love seeing people growing. Probably you start small. I believe if you truly start small, you are supposed to also end big. The medium I'm normally frequent with is actually acrylic. I started with poster color, but I got comfortable with acrylic. My biggest influence in art, one of them is late now. His name is Stan Lee. He was the creator of Marvel Comics, because I remember, like I earlier stated, I started with comics even before going into realism. So my influence was majorly from his side. And the second person is Jim Lee. Jim Lee is also a comic artist. He works for DC Comics. Then the third person is David Finch. In fact, I would say that's my biggest influence in that. For as long as I keep seeing figures in black and white, and for as long as I keep watching movies that has to do with art, and also watching action movies, and also staying with my fellow painters, my fellow artists, there's an energy that flows. If my paintings are extremely expensive, for instance, I do a painting and I tag it 300,000 naira. The poor who I'm trying to give hope cannot afford the painting. So how do I give the poor hope? Actually, I do no painting for the poor. Actually, I do it for people who are up there, because the poor cannot help themselves. They need people upstairs to be reminded of how poor they used to be able to help the poor. So what I do, I might tag my painting in a big price, but majorly you will definitely see a theme of hope. So once the big person buys the painting and he asks me what made me to do this painting, the thing behind the painting, I tell him hope. And he's like, what is hope? And I try to explain it, narrow it down to people who are struggling. Then he's able, because I believe every rich man or every wealthy man should be reminded of old times. What are old times? I mean, they should be reminded of, the past, how small they were. So you remembering your past will always make you to want to bring people upstairs. All right. For some of the biggest challenges I've faced in my art career, well, some of them has been financial issue. People hardly appreciate art, and for what is not appreciated, I believe should not might not really have much value. So imagine you are bringing, because I remember one time when I went to print out one of my comical work that I was going to sell. The woman I took the comic to, the woman was laughing. She was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Mommy, I want to sell this." She was just laughing. Everybody gathered. I was very tender then. Everybody, they were just laughing. So you see, people hardly appreciate art, and before you find people who appreciate art, it takes a longer period. So most of my challenge were, discouragement from people, and also financial issue, and again struggling to have my style. Although that was then. If I'm to meet with any artist, dead or alive, definitely it will be Stan Lee, because my reason for meeting him is not because he's the best artist, the best colorist. the best penciler, the best painter. Not no. What is because I was able, in those years of when Marvel was still at a very low side, I was able to manage both the finance, manage the struggle, and bring Marvel, because I believe before he died, that was 2019 if I'm correct, he has taken Marvel to a whole another level, a whole new level. So my main question would even be, how did he do it? The artwork I would really love, or I would have loved to recreate, I would say I would actually love to recreate Mona Lisa.